guys, welcome back. I'm Krista from Plant Lux. How are you today? I'm here for you. We're gonna do some plant stuff today. Yay, terrarium project. So I'm so happy that you joined me today because we're gonna have some fun looking at a terrarium project that my daughter and I worked on. And I am going to show you what to do with the propagations and how to get that thing going and grow some plants and make some more plants. More plants, baby. Woo! So let's get started. Let's get right into it. Thank you so much for joining me. Here's our terrarium, and we have our propagations, and we've been working on this project together as a family. And all thanks to my daughter Taylor, she put this thing together. I can't talk. And we have been just experimenting with it to see how it would go. So here's what we did. We had an old aquarium that we weren't using anymore, but you really don't need to have an old aquarium. You can do it in a Tupperware container or some other vessel that's available. Preferably, I can't talk. Preferably one that's clear so that light can get into it. So you don't necessarily have to have one of these things, but you know, Craigslist, eBay, dime a dozen, old, fish tanks gone wrong, yard sales. These things are everywhere. So this really worked out for us. We really enjoy it. So anyway, and then what we got was a box of the sphagnum moss. It looks like a block. And you loosen it up and you put, water on it once it's all said and done. So that's what we did. We took it out of the box, spread it around, and then poured, about a quart of water onto it, maybe a little bit more. The key, though, is keeping the sphagnum moss moist. So that's one of the really important things. So you're going to need to make sure that you have a container that you fill with water. I happen to just put these babies in here because they recently fell off my angel wing begonia dog tail incident. Whiskey, his tail gets going and it snapped these babies off, so I just stuck them in the water real quick. Anyway, you're going to want a container of water in your terrarium. You're going to want a pretty big sizable block of this sphagnum moss, and this is what it looks like. Okay, it'll come as a block. All right, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And then, if you want to get fancy and make it look fun, you can get some pieces of wood. Just make sure they don't have insects in them. We had some old driftwood that we treated. We had some old aquarium decorations. Another piece of driftwood over there. We were trying to make it look kind of fun and interesting. So that's what we did. Also up here, if you could get to the label, we have our Mars Hydro grow light. Now this is a very strong grow light. For some of the plants that can't handle the intense light or heat, so you'd want to make sure that you're not having it pointing directly like on an angel wing begonia. But the rest of the plants are pretty tolerant to it. That's what we found. But the angel wings are a little bit more particular about the light. Anyway. The grow light helps with the heat and humidity and obviously the lighting, so it's a fun thing to have. Anyway, so this is what we have over here. I'm going to show you, here are some of, this is a propagation that was taken from the terrarium. It's doing very well. Let's see, this is also a propagation taken from the terrarium. So these are our initial ones. Here's, so this is a syngonium. I believe it's a butterfly. Is it a white butterfly syngonium? This is called a mini monstera or a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This is a pothos, a Manju pothos. And we also had some, they're in the other room though. We had some peperomia that look, like these peperomia types. And what else did I have in there? I'm not going to show that to you today, but we had also a couple of other ones that we just potted up. We had a video that crashed. I recorded the video and lo and behold, it just was all messed up. So this is actually a redo of the first video. So we've already potted up the things in the terrarium and now we're doing it over again because the video tanked. Best laid plans. Anyway. So if you look over here, we took some new cuttings to add to the terrarium. We have our neon pothos. We have some more white butterfly syngonium. We have some more of the manju pothos. And we have some narrow form Monstera addisonii. And some Rio philodendron silver stripe. And some more Rhaphidophora tetrasperma mini monstera. Now, after I had done the first video that failed, I decided, hey, you know what? I really want to add some more cuttings to make for a fuller plant one day. So that's what we're reaching for here with the propagations that we're doing. We want about 10 cuttings per container. 5 to 10, but we like more bushy, fuller plants. We like them big, so we're gonna try to get as many cuttings in one propagation or one grow container as we can. So that's what we're reaching for today. Oh, and I forgot to mention also that I'm going to do propagation of the snake plant because I noticed that there was some weird, wacky disease going on here. I don't know what this is. If you know, please put it in the comments below, but I cut these off my snake plant. I did it with a previous snake plant where I took propagation cuttings. See how I did that? And this is the new growth right here. So I know it works when you do it this way, but for all intents and purposes, I was hoping to try it. Oh no. Pooh. I was going to try it in the sphagnum moss because I've never tried to propagate snake plants in the sphagnum moss, and to be honest, I haven't done research on it, so I don't even know if I can do it, but I'm going to try it anyway. All right, I'll look it up after I post this video because you know that is the order in which we are going in today. All right. I want to put it in there, put them in there though, and just try it. I can't imagine that it wouldn't work, so we're going to try it. All right, so let's get started. Have my handy scissors here, so let's get right into it. So when you propagate, as you know, or maybe, oh, excuse me, maybe you don't know, that one wants to get stuck now. Come on. You see where the leaf connects to the stem, all right? Well, you have your internode, okay? You've got your aerial roots, you've got your node here, all right? So you're gonna wanna cut to allow that node and that aerial root to grow. So we want to take several of these propagations. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to leave this one a little longer because I want it to vine. I want to feel like I have some vining moments in my life. Okay, I'm going to leave those vining. All right. These are good. Those are good. Those are good. Those are good. All right. This is different. And when you're doing this, you got to make sure that it is as it sits. We don't want the diseased part, so we're going to cut that right off. This is trash. We'll get it later. All right, so we're going to want to take about 1.5 to 2 inches. It's pretty good. I don't really want to cut, well, I guess I could do maybe that. Oh, shoot. All right, so I want to make sure that I'm putting it in the right way. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to stick them so that they're standing up. Get them to the down, get them way down in there. You want them to make sure they're in there nice and good. All right. Same thing with this one. Get rid of the diseased part. You don't want any disease. So you really want to take a close look and say, okay, is there any more disease on here? You know, I'm a little skeptical of that. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and get rid of this whole section. All right, and then I'm going to cut. I'm going to place right away so I don't forget which side goes up. Place. Place. And I'm just going to stick this, well, okay, we'll do it like that. place. These are so interesting. I'm gonna make sure they're really in there. You really want the organic matter to be snug against them. So you really want to get it down in there. I want to make sure all of them are pretty snug. And if they're not, you're going to want to move some organic matter or sphagnum moss to cover it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put these syngoniums in. Like I said earlier, you're going to want to make sure that you're getting them into the terrarium, down into the sphagnum moss. So you're going to want to kind of like you would with soil, you kind of want to pack them in. You know, and if you're going for like an aesthetic or something, you can place them where you think they would look cool or look good or interesting or aesthetically pleasing. Ah! Sorry, I know this is a little difficult. Now, just so you know, the grow light, if you leave it on for a while, it does get hot. So if you run a Mars Hydro, they are very powerful and really good lights, honestly. I've been putting them at several locations around my house to give fake sun to some of my plants that aren't getting enough sun because my collection has gotten sort of out of control. Yeah, so I'm finding that I need more and more light, and I am finding that I need grow lights, so I've been using them. All right, so we're just putting these where we think they're gonna look cool and grow well, and we're getting them down into the sphagnum. So fun. Honestly, this is such an interesting, fun activity, or therapeutic in some ways. It's not soil, it's a little different. That's why it's like sort of like a variation of this fun plant hobby, playing with the moss. It's just different and it's fun. It's fun and rewarding. You will love it, honestly. You will love it. I highly recommend trying to grow stuff in some sphagnum. It's so different than growing it in soil. And I'm going to tell you right now, with my experience lately with this thing, there are certain species of plants that do better in sphagnum moss than they do with water propagation or soil propagation. Philodendron's one of them. They seem to just really love the sphagnum. I mean, the roots on them were crazy roots on the philodendron. Also crazy roots on Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and the syngoniums had really big roots. What else? Oh, basically everything had huge roots. It was just sort of like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It was just a lot better than water propagation, a lot faster. And this usually soil I feel like might be too heavy or just not enough organic matter. I'm not really sure what the difference is, but the sphagnum really seemed to really be the ticket to quick, very successful propagations, at least in my experience. This has been the most successful that I've ever tried. Just saying. And as far as the one plant that's sort of watery is the Tradescantia quadricolor. And I usually water propagate that, but sometimes I soil propagate that. Soil propagation actually works out better than water propagation for that plant. And in this case, the sphagnum moss was the ticket for that particular species, the Tradescantia quadricolor, because sometimes in the water it just gets a little bit too mushy. And that's this plant right here, and it's doing smashingly. And it's not getting, it doesn't get watery in here. It stays very vibrant and very lush. And, naturally that plant is quite lush. So it does kind of make sense. The sphagnum moss is just like the ticket to success for that plant. Now I've often thought about propagating my, because what I really want to do is I've gotten some of these grow lights. And what I really want to do is I want to grow and germinate like rare plants, like the Monstera addisonii variegata. Love to do that. or the Thai constellation. And now that I have this trusted relationship with sphagnum moss, I think I might try it. So we'll see. It's all an experiment. So if you could just pan in a little bit just to kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm just putting these longer ones and kind of like covering them in sphagnum to make sure that the aerial root gets covered. That's all I'm doing. It's just fun, you know. You don't have to have that grow light on while you're doing this because it does get hot. But we have it on so that you can see what we're doing because it's kind of dark out right now. And we want you guys to see, you know, what it looks like. My daughter Taylor is actually filming right now. She is the brainchild behind this project. Thank you, Taylor. She's always thinking about these really fun, amazing ideas. And I'm like, God, my child is so brilliant. She's not really a child anymore. She's more like an adult. Sorry, I called you a child. She is an adult, not like an adult. I'm a mom, though. That's what moms do. They say things like that, right? Okay. So here we are. We're just, you know, having fun, putting these babies in here, plugging them in. Very therapeutic. And it's looking pretty neat. I think it looks cool. Don't you guys think it looks cool? I think it looks really cool. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button, please. I think it looks cool. I want to hit my thumbs up because I love this thing. I think it's neat. And I love the hello, I can't talk more. I love the pops of neon that this neon pothos is providing in here. I think it looks really neat. If you want to pan in just a teeny bit so I can show viewers. Look, see this grow light is too much for this angel wing. See this? It's too much. But the other vegetation in here loves it. So, you know, you just got to pick and choose. And, you know, after you place your propagations in here, sometimes they might fall a little. And you might need to, like, rearrange and push and add a little water. We're going to add some water after this in a second. And I just want to kind of do a little plug here. So this kind of light puts light out. And so that's why I have all these propagations hanging out. This is a propagation, new growth here. I just did this like literally 2 days ago. And this is a variegated string of hearts. This is just a regular string of hearts. And and this is obviously a snake plant that these are the babies coming out. But I have these hanging out here because there is some light that just kind of diffuses off of there, and I figure it's wasted light unless I use it. So that's why I have all of these. Like, they're literally pots are usually lining this terrarium. So let's finish up with these propagations. I'm going to go ahead and place my Rio philodendron around in different places. Just sticking it in the sphagnum, making sure that the aerial roots get down in there. I realize that I have a lot of propagations, but I really want to propagate these babies. So that's why it's going to be covered. It's going to be a jungle terrarium, right? And that's okay, you know? You guys do what you feel that you want to do, you know? You want to go for the jungly terrarium vibe, you can do that. If you want to make it artistic and simple, you can do that. I've got some other varieties in here. I've got Polonia in here. Polonia. Why do I always say the M? It's Polonia. And I've got, well, they call this like Polynesian ivy, but, you know, Polonia is the Latin. What else do I have in here? I've got some moss not doing so hot. Got a spider plant in here too, hanging out. And we're just going to keep popping these babies in. That's what we're going to do. It's fun. Looking kind of jungly. Sometimes I like to drape these so that they go up. Like this one's crawling up. This is a Scindapsus pictus, and it's crawling up behind. So we got that guy in there too, Scindapsus pictus. And for those of you who have trouble propagating Scindapsus pictus, whether it's exotica or whether it is, you know, just the regular kind, sphagnum moss I've found is excellent for propagating Scindapsus pictus, because I have found that soil propagation and water propagation is very slow. But if you have a grow light and some sphagnum moss, man, that is money. Very satisfying. Okay, looking good. Let's keep going. We've got very jungly look here. We've got two more things we can pop in here. We've got Raphidophora tetrasperma, mini monstera. And then we've got the Monstera addisonii narrow form. It's kind of big though. It came off of my mother plant, so the leaves are kind of big. And this one might not enjoy the bright light either. So, we'll see. We shall see. I've had luck propagating Monstera narrow-form addisonii in water, so we'll see. I'm probably going to need some more water over here because it's a little hard to stand up the plants that are heavier on the top, you know, like these kinds with the bigger leaves. It's harder to get them to stand up so they look pretty. Well, we want them to look pretty. I'm feeling like I need to take the angel out of there. So here's just an example of what happens. I don't know if you can come over here near the light. Coming out here, little new growth there. This is some growth. So that's what it looks like, but you can tell that the leaf is just suffering from too much sunlight. So if you've got roots like that, I would just say stick it in some sphagnum moss away from a grow light. So that's what I'm going to do for that one, because this leaf is not looking happy. And these ones aren't happy either. Let's see what we got here. These were just sitting in water, but I've already got some growth here. Looks good. And this one's starting to have a little bit peek out. So I'm just going to save these guys because I really want the grow light to do its work. So we're just going to leave those out. We're not going to have those in the aquarium or in the terrarium. All right, where was I? All right, I'm going to stick this baby in here. And okay. Monstera addisonii is next, these big guys. Let's see, where am I going to place you? Let's place you over yonder. Get him down in there. I'm going to place him so he's going to be growing kind of upward. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to point him so he's upward. I want the support of that branch. That's what I'm going for. And I'm trying to also provide a little bit of shade for the Raphidophora and because I'm going to be honest with you, this is a brand new leaf. So I'm going to try to protect it. It's looking a little bad right now. So I'm going to try to give it a little shade by creating some shade in the terrarium. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Try to create a little shade over there. Last but not least, my other Monstera. I think I want to move that one closer though because I want it to go up. Okay, I'm going to do this a little bit here. Get this. Try that. Okay. All right, now here's a word of caution. These ones, if you get them upside down, they're not gonna be successful. So you gotta make sure that wherever you cut, the root side goes down. Okay. Why that is, I actually don't know. But all right. So what I would do now, after placing all my propagations in here, is I would get a watering can and water it thoroughly. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill our watering can. I'm going to put just a little bit of fertilizer in there, just a little bit. And I use Jack's, as you know, if you've been watching my videos. If you haven't been watching my videos, the link is in the description below. I like Jack's. That's what I use. I dilute it. But we're gonna put that in here, very diluted, because we don't want to shock the plants because they're already vulnerable because they're propagations. but using a little bit's gonna be good for them. All right, so let's do that. Let's water them, and then we're basically just gonna let this baby grow, and then I will post a new video where later on where we take them out and we monitor them and see their progress, and then pot them up and see what happens and make some new plants. So that's the idea. So let me go get my watering can, and then we'll water it, and then we are going to be well on our way. I have the watering can, and I put enough in here to go ahead and, well, this looks dirty, so I'm just gonna pour it back in. It's really easy. It's not rocket science. That's it. You just pour it in there. Nothing major. Make sure you have a full, you know, this is for humidity. This stays in here. It puts humidity back in the air, and then you're just gonna go in here and water away. I wouldn't put it on top of the leaves per se. I would try to just hit the sphagnum moss, because you know you don't want to mess up what you've already tried to place, like the bigger leaves. If you hit them just right, sometimes they fall over because they're not rooted yet. Well, I think that's probably gonna do it. And as they root, they stand up better, and you'll notice that in the next couple of days. Believe it or not, that's all that it takes. It's so amazing. I can't tell you how much fun I've had with this terrarium, with these propagations. It's so much fun. I come in here and check them. It's so much prettier than a bunch of little containers full of, you know, propagations with water in them. I mean, those are beautiful too, don't get me wrong, but this is just like one giant vessel with all the propagations, and it looks artistic. If you want to come over here and just kind of look at the scape, it's fun looking. It looks kind of neat. You've got your wood in there, you've got your natural elements. I mean, I would also add some rock in there. I didn't think about that until after the fact, but I would also add some rock in there just to make it, you know, like really cool looking. And also the rocks would be good anchors to like put like the bigger, heavier leaves if you have like a heavier leaf in there. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. So yeah, I will go ahead and link everything that you need for this in the description box below. And thank you so much for joining me. It's so great to be back. And I just want to say thank you again too for all of your sweet, kind words and all of your, you know, wishes of love and wellness, you know, with, you know, my situation here at home, taking care of my dad, and, you know, having him living in my house now. So thank you so much, and thank you for all your advice about cancer and about, you know, vets and, you know, all that kind of stuff. For those of you who don't know, you know, my dad's living with me, and he's a Vietnam vet, and he has cancer, and he's recently come to live in my home. So that's what I've been doing, is helping my dad out. So anyway, thanks for all your kind words. It really means a lot. It really does. Thank you. It's very heartfelt, and I really appreciate it. So hey guys, I'll see you again next time. I will be posting another video very soon. And yeah, so I'm back at it. So please check in. I'm trying to post twice a week, and I'm trying to do Monday and Thursday. But sometimes I don't make those due dates, so just twice a week. I promise, twice a week. All right, guys, thanks so much. I will see you again real soon. Bye. Hey, subscribe.